Listen to more at Relationship Stories.
Jane had been dating Richard for several months, and their relationship had deepened into something meaningful and special. She knew it was time to take the next step and introduce him to her parents, a significant milestone in any relationship. One sunny weekend, Jane invited Richard to her childhood home, a cozy suburban house with a well-tended garden. She had told her parents about Richard, and the time had come for them to meet in person. Jane's heart raced with a mix of excitement and nervousness as they approached her parents' front door. Richard, dressed smartly and armed with a bouquet of fresh flowers, was equally eager to make a good impression. He had heard so much about Jane's family and was determined to show them the respect and genuine affection he felt for their daughter. As Jane and Richard entered the house, they were warmly greeted by Jane's parents, Sarah and David. The living room was filled with the welcoming aroma of home-cooked food, and the sound of laughter echoed through the house. Jane's parents had prepared a delicious meal to celebrate the occasion. Over dinner, the conversation flowed naturally. Richard shared stories about his life, his interests, and his aspirations, while Jane's parents listened attentively, getting to know the man who had captured their daughter's heart. They were charmed by Richard's wit, warmth, and genuine personality. After dinner, Jane's parents invited Richard to join them in the living room, where they spent hours chatting and sharing stories. It was a delightful evening filled with laughter, shared values, and a growing sense of connection between Richard and Jane's family. As the evening came to a close, Jane's parents expressed their appreciation for Richard's visit and their approval of his relationship with their daughter. They could see the love and happiness that Jane and Richard brought to each other's lives, and it warmed their hearts. Jane and Richard left her parents' home that night with a sense of joy and contentment. Their relationship had reached a new level of depth and commitment, and the meeting with Jane's parents had solidified their bond. It was a significant step forward in their journey together, one that marked the merging of their lives and the approval of the people who mattered most to Jane. Sarah's decision to embark on a secret affair with Richard was a choice born out of temptation and a desire for excitement. She had never anticipated the depths to which her actions would lead, nor the consequences they would bring to her family. The affair began as a series of stolen glances and private conversations. Sarah and Richard found themselves drawn to each other in a way that was both thrilling and dangerous. The secrecy of their relationship added an element of excitement that neither of them had experienced before. As the affair continued, Sarah was torn between her feelings for Richard and the love she had for her husband, David. She felt the weight of guilt and the conflict within her heart, knowing that she was betraying the trust of the person who had been her partner and confidant for years. Richard, too, was grappling with the complexities of their affair. He had never intended for their relationship to escalate to this level, and he found himself torn between his genuine affection for Sarah and his moral compass. The secrecy of their affair began to wear on him, and he knew that the truth could not remain hidden forever. Despite their internal turmoil, Sarah and Richard continued to meet in secret, their forbidden love growing stronger with each stolen moment. They were drawn to the thrill of their affair even as they wrestled with the knowledge that their actions were causing pain to those they loved. The revelation of their affair would come as a devastating blow to Sarah's family. David, unaware of his wife's infidelity, would be left shattered by the betrayal. Their children, too young to understand the complexities of their parents' relationship, would be caught in the emotional turmoil. Sarah and Richard were faced with a difficult choice: continue down the path of secrecy and deception or confront the truth and its consequences. Their story was a stark reminder of the power of temptation and the profound impact of infidelity on the lives of those involved. As they grappled with the moral and emotional complexities of their affair, Sarah and Richard found themselves at a crossroads, where the choices they made would have far-reaching consequences for their families and their own sense of integrity. Sarah and Richard's secret romance continued to flourish, hidden away from the prying eyes of their friends and family. They found themselves caught in a web of secrecy, drawn to the excitement and intimacy they shared, even as they grappled with the moral implications of their actions. Their stolen moments together were filled with whispered confessions of love and stolen kisses. They cherished the time they spent in each other's company, their connection deepening with each passing day. The secrecy of their relationship added an element of thrill and danger that kept the flame of their passion burning. As Sarah continued to navigate her daily life as a wife and mother, she was burdened by the weight of guilt and the constant fear of discovery. She struggled to reconcile her love for Richard with her commitment to her family, torn between her responsibilities and her desires. Richard, too, was conflicted. He cared deeply for Sarah, but he couldn't escape the knowledge that their relationship was built on secrecy and deception. He knew that the truth had the potential to cause immeasurable pain to Sarah's family and his own moral compass. Their affair remained hidden, a closely guarded secret that they shared with no one. They were aware of the risks they were taking, the potential consequences of their actions, but they were unable to extricate themselves from the web of passion and love they had woven. As time passed, Sarah and Richard's relationship became increasingly complicated. They faced moments of joy and connection, as well as periods of doubt and self-reflection. They were acutely aware of the fragility of their situation and the potential for their secret to be revealed. Their story was a testament to the enduring power of forbidden love and the complexities of human emotion. Sarah and Richard were bound together by a shared passion that defied societal norms, a love that existed in the shadows, hidden from the judgment of the world. Ultimately, their future remained uncertain, as they grappled with the choices they had made and the consequences that loomed on the horizon. Their secret romance was a reminder that the heart could be a complex and unpredictable terrain, where love and desire could lead to both ecstasy and despair. Jane's heart pounded in her chest as she approached the door to the room where her mother, Sarah, and Richard had been spending time together. She had sensed something amiss, a tension in the air that had raised her suspicions. With trepidation, she turned the doorknob and entered the room, her eyes widening in shock at the sight before her. Sarah and Richard, caught in the throes of their secret romance, froze as they saw Jane standing in the doorway, her eyes filled with disbelief and betrayal. The room seemed to crackle with tension, the weight of their deception hanging heavy in the air. For a moment, no one spoke. Jane's mind raced, trying to process the reality of what she was witnessing. Her mother, whom she had always looked up to, was entangled in an affair with Richard, a man she had come to care about deeply. It was a devastating revelation, one that shattered her sense of trust and security. Sarah, unable to meet her daughter's gaze, felt a profound sense of shame and remorse. She knew that her actions had caused immeasurable pain to her family, and she was now faced with the consequences of her choices. Richard, too, was gripped by guilt and shame. He had never intended for their secret romance to be discovered in such a painful manner, and he saw the devastation in Jane's eyes as a reflection of the pain he had caused. In the tense moments that followed, words of anger, hurt, and betrayal were exchanged. Jane confronted her mother and Richard about their actions, demanding an explanation for the deception that had been hidden from her for so long. Their attempts to justify their affair fell on deaf ears, as Jane grappled with the profound sense of betrayal that had shattered her world. As the truth of their secret romance came to light, Jane's family faced an uncertain future marked by heartbreak and the difficult process of healing and forgiveness. Their lives had been irrevocably changed by the revelation, and the road ahead would be filled with challenges and a profound sense of loss. Jane, torn between her love for her mother and the pain of her betrayal, was left to navigate the complexities of forgiveness and the enduring impact of her family's shattered trust. The discovery of Sarah and Richard's affair had forever altered the dynamics of their family, a painful reminder of the consequences of secrecy and infidelity. Sarah's decision to leave her husband, David, and marry Richard was a monumental and life-altering choice. It marked the culmination of her secret romance with Richard and the beginning of a new chapter in their lives. After the revelation of their affair and the profound impact it had on Sarah's family, she felt compelled to make a choice that aligned with her heart's desires. Sarah and Richard had shared a deep connection and a love that had defied societal norms, and they believed it was worth pursuing. Leaving David was not an easy decision for Sarah. She had shared many years of her life with him, and their marriage had been built on a foundation of shared experiences and commitment. The choice to end their marriage was fraught with pain and sadness, as well as a sense of loss for what might have been. Sarah and Richard, fueled by their love for each other, decided to embark on a new journey together. They faced the challenges of merging their lives, blending their families, and navigating the complexities of their past choices. Their commitment to each other was unwavering, and they believed that their love was worth the sacrifices they had made. The process of rebuilding their lives was marked by moments of joy and challenges, as they created a new family unit with shared dreams and aspirations. They were determined to honor their love for each other and build a future that was authentic to their hearts. David, left to grapple with the dissolution of his marriage, faced a difficult road ahead. He needed to heal and rebuild his life, finding a way to move forward despite the pain of his wife's departure. The story of Sarah, David, and Richard was a reflection of the complexities of love, choice, and the enduring power of the human heart to follow its desires. Their journey was marked by pain and sacrifice, but it was also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity to find happiness and fulfillment, even in the face of life's most profound changes. After the revelation of Sarah's affair with Richard and her decision to leave her husband, David, Jane's relationship with her mother underwent a significant transformation. The shock and betrayal she had felt upon discovering her mother's secret romance had left deep emotional wounds. Unable to reconcile the image of her mother with the actions she had taken, Jane chose to distance herself from Sarah. She needed time and space to process the complex emotions she was experiencing, and communication with her mother became strained and infrequent. Sarah, acutely aware of the pain she had caused her daughter, respected Jane's need for space and understanding. She understood that her actions had deeply hurt her family, and she was prepared to give Jane the time she needed to heal and come to terms with the changes in their family dynamics. As the weeks turned into months, the gap between Jane and Sarah persisted. Jane's silence was a reflection of her inner turmoil and the difficulty she had in reconciling with the betrayal she had experienced. She grappled with conflicting emotions of love for her mother and the pain of her actions. Sarah, in the meantime, worked to rebuild her life with Richard and navigate the complexities of their new family dynamic. She remained hopeful that, with time, she could mend her relationship with her daughter and rebuild the trust that had been fractured by her affair. The road to reconciliation would be a long and challenging one, marked by difficult conversations and a shared commitment to understanding and forgiveness. Jane and Sarah's story was a testament to the enduring power of family bonds and the capacity for healing, even in the face of profound betrayal and heartbreak.